Good morning and welcome back to Planet AP. If you're new here, it's crazy out here, but you're gonna love it. Today I want to talk about something that you cannot pay me to shut up about because it is so important. And I truly believe that if you can not just intellectually understand this principle, but also embody it and learn to live as it will change your entire life. I think that this should be taught in schools. I think that everybody should know this because it is the way to create. It is how we were meant to create in this life. And when we go against it, when we go against our nature, the natural law of life, that's when we suffer and we feel all kinds of wonky ways. And also, here's the thing. Because this is what I'm about to tell you guys, this is something that I knew for years and years and years. Okay, I knew about this for years. I studied this, I learned it, I had intellectualized it. But there's some things that nobody actually mentioned, nobody talked about, and those little details are the difference that made the difference. Because once I got once that clicked for me, that's when everything started to change in my external reality. That's when I learned how to actually create from the field, how to actually move with Godfidence, how to actually build a life from the 5D and have it be made manifest in the 3D. Okay, let's get to it. So if this video is for you, if you're someone who has been in the space for a long time, you even know about God. For example, I did this workshop experience, masterclass, whatever, a couple of days ago, and it was called Living with Godfidence, right? And someone over there asked an excellent question. She was like, I know that I should trust God. In fact, I even do trust God, but I'm still afraid of what if it doesn't work out, okay? And that question, the way I'm gonna briefly through this video, I'm gonna do my best to explain what I told her. But if you want to catch the entire experience, it was almost like 4 hours or 3.5 hours or something. I taught 10 codes of Godfidence, did a powerful activation at the end, everything in between. And I answered a lot of different questions by decoding the question, I asked her a lot of questions. So if you watch that, and that will give you a framework to reflect on your own different beliefs and thoughts and whatever nervous system wirings you have. So I highly freaking recommend getting it. It's at a very low investment right now because it's fresh. In a couple of days, the investment will go up, so you can get that from the link below. But let's talk about this, all right? The difference between creating from field versus creating with matter. And that's like once you get this, it's gonna change your life, okay? So over here, we're gonna talk about creating from the 5D, which is the quantum field, which is creating with God. And this over here, we're gonna talk about creating from matter. Now let's talk about the 3D realm for a second first, all right? And I want you to, before we even start this, right? I want you to close your eyes for a moment, put your hand on your heart, take a deep breath with me right here. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And all I want you to do is set the intention to allow every single thing that happened before this moment to literally melt away, to become irrelevant, and bring all your energy into this moment. To set the intention to open up your heart to receive, to feel, to experience, and to allow every single thing that I share with you today to go straight into your heart. Set the intention to open up the heart, to let go, and to fully arrive here and now. Okay, beautiful. All right, let's get to this. Now let's talk about what it means to create from matter. Now, the realm of 3D, okay, is the realm of Newtonian physics, right? This is the realm of cause and effect. It's the realm of space plus time, right? In this dimension, if you are over here and you want X thing, then you have to travel through space and you have to go in time. And it will take what? It will take effort. That's the basic model of the 3D world. That you have to do stuff in time and then you will arrive at your destination, right? And the thing about this way of doing life, not that it's wrong, okay? I mean, it is. But not that it's wrong, right? More than half the world lives this way. More than half the world operates this way. More than half the world builds their life this way, right? So then the question becomes, is it worth it? Because look at the general population in the world, the way that people operate, the way that they move, the problems that they experience, the kind of emotions that they have on a daily. Their entire nervous system is coded in stress and survival and fear and shame and guilt and blah, blah. And so even when they go from space and time to point X, whatever they want in the 3D reality, even when they get it, there's still a lack of fulfillment. Because here's the thing. When we operate through this model of reality, we do it all for this X, the end that we're after, the goal, the desire, whatever. We associate a feeling to it. So we say, okay, when I make this effort and I do all of this stuff, then I arrive here and then I'll feel this way. And that's what makes this a problem, okay? And when I say problem, I mean that's what makes this not the better way to go about it. Because not only are you exerting a lot of pressure and you're spending a lot of time and you're stressing yourself out and blah, 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 only to arrive at this destination, and when you do, you find out that it's not all that you thought it was or all that you thought it was gonna be. You don't feel some type of way. It doesn't make you feel whole. It doesn't give you this feeling that you were after for a long amount of time. For example, someone said to me, I really want to move to this country, and when I move to this country, blah, blah, life's going to be better, everything's going to work out, da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, cool. So they exerted all this pressure and they did this and they did that and they eventually ended up moving. But when they got there, they were happy for a day, and then day 2 and then day 3 came and the excitement died. And now they were like, well, I want to work towards something else, I guess. And the thing with this model of reality, this way of being, this way of living, is that your entire life becomes a chase for something more, for something out there. And at some point you arrive wherever you know your thing is, whatever that end is, only to look back and go like, wow, I missed a lot of life. I missed a lot of moments. I missed a lot of love and showing up and presence and this and that, only because I was thinking that once I get to point X, it's gonna make me feel whole. But I've crossed X and I went all the way till the very end. I've done everything I ever wanted to do, but I feel like I didn't really live. And I'll give you an example. And this is from one of my favorite movies of all time, which is The Ultimate Gift. The first time I watched this movie was when I was 17, and my mentor, he told me to watch it, and he was like, amazing movie, blah, blah. And since then, I've probably watched it like 10 times. But the movie, without giving you a spoiler, yeah, okay. I mean, it's not a spoiler type of movie, okay, whatever, I want to tell you about it. So in the movie, there's this man. It also has, by the way, more parts. Incredible movie, right? Anyway, so there's this man who had spent his entire life, in building a business empire, right? He was so filthy rich. His family was filthy rich, blah, blah, but he wasn't around for his children to grow up, and all he gave them was money. Okay, and he missed moments and he missed life, and his entire family was disoriented, fragmented, and they were just after money, and that's all, right? So after he died, his will was basically to give his entire estate to one of his grandsons, and the way that the grandson could get that will was if he went through these 10 challenges that he had. I think it was like 10 or something like that. 10 different challenges, 10 different experiences. If he went through those and he actually completed them, then he would unlock the estate. And those were actually life lessons, right? And it was so incredibly beautiful, because that kid went at the beginning of the story versus at the end. He learns the meaning of life through those experiences. Because the grandfather, he said that my greatest regret was that I didn't live enough, right? All my life was spent chasing towards something, but I missed out on what mattered the most. And that's the thing with most people in the world. We miss out on God, and we miss out on our loved ones, and we miss out on life itself and celebrating with people and relationships and being present, because even in the midst of every single moment, we're anticipating the future. We're hardly ever present. We're like the next thing and the next this and the next that. We're always on some sort of chase, and life passes by. And everyone's so angry and frustrated and stressed and in fear because of the chase itself. So it's like, even when you're around your loved ones, you got like, you got like a frown on your head, and you're angry, and you're just like, don't talk to me, I'm stressed. Okay, sir. And then you're like, I wonder why nobody wants to talk to me. Have you checked your attitude lately? Well, that's true, because when things get to our head, because we're creating from matter to matter, which means there's so much effort we need to do, which means that we become our own gods. We become self-reliant. We have to control. We have to use logic. We have to do things through the mind, and the heart closes off. And that's why people suffer. Because they're forcing and controlling and trying to predict. How are you trying to predict, homie? Oh, I don't know. Based on my familiar past, your brain's throwing in predictions for the future, and it's like, what is the basis of these predictions, sir? And the brain is like, the gutter I learned when I was 7. Like, people got problematic patterns and stuff that they've memorized in their nervous system. And that's like your mind's entire bank vault of memory of everything it knows to be familiar. And then it's like, based on my research of the way that you've lived your life so far, this is what's predicted to happen in your future. So basically, you're gone, you're cooked. It don't gotta be that way, bro. It don't. And that's why we come to creating from the quantum field, because by the way, I want you to get this. This will be hard, and so will this, but in a very different type of way with very different ROIs. Okay? Because the type of discipline this part requires is the discipline of blood, sweat, and tears. And it's the discipline of making it a point to connect to God and infinite every single day. To not let your mind run your life. That's the discipline. The discipline to become aware. Am I being present to life? What's going on? Like, am I like walking around like this? Or am I chill? Am I in flow? Am I in love? Am I trying to predict and control? Or I'm like, no, I trust the unknown. That's the difference in the discipline. Because this, in the long term, eventually becomes easier the more you build the muscle of the heart, of remembering God, of God consciousness. But this, it never gets easier. Never. You know what they say? There ain't no rest for the wicked. It's like that. What I used to, when I was a hustler baby, when I was something like that, what the biggest thing I used to say? I'll rest when I die. Like, think about it. And I'm not, like, I wasn't even being, ironic or something. And I know people like that who actually say stuff like that, legit. They're not joking. They're not, this is not like something like that. It's like they genuinely believe, I'll rest when I die. This world, I need to perform and I need to earn love. No, sir, you need an inner child healing. The little baby inside you just doesn't feel loved. What do you mean? You don't need, love has always been unconditional. And that's the thing, when we get a little off topic, but I gotta say this, why we get creating from matter to matter is because, drum roll, because our nervous system is a nervous. But let me also tell you this, energetically, right? In the 3D, particles vibrate at a different speed. In order to become dense, in order to be material, okay? Is the material world. Everything is energy. The reason I'm holding this pen is because the energy is moving in a certain way to give me the illusion that this is a solid object, right? But there are millions of infinite potentials of a different type of marker I could be holding, I could have been holding, but this is an equal to the reality that I'm in. This is what I observed. And so this is what I drew in my reality, right? So everything in, now think about this. Would it be easier to change your life from a realm where everything has already solidified? Or would it be easier to change your life where everything is a potential, where it has not yet hardened? It is not yet vibrating at a specific speed to make it appear solid. So it's fluid. You can pick and choose, and you can have it drawn to you. Because this, what you're living in, is the past. This is not even the present. Think about it this way. You know, when we go out at night, when we go camping and we're like, I want to see the stars and stuff, or even just generally, right? When we go out at night, the stars that we see, that's us looking at the past. That's not, those stars, they were in that place a long, long time ago, millions of years ago. But they traveled through all that time, and now maybe some of those stars are dead, maybe they're elsewhere, but now we're able to perceive them. So even when we're looking up at the stars, we're looking at the past. That is such like a, like, you know, like it reflects back into your life, because all of this that you're looking at is a past projection of what happened in your inner, you know, in your inner palace. Whatever got printed through you, because reality is printed through you. So whatever you believed, you convicted in, you accepted as law, all of that is now being projected in your reality right now. This is not like, we call it present because right now we are present to it, we are witnessing off it, but it's a reflection of the past. Because way before this, it went through here, how we thought, how we felt, the intentions, the expectations, went up to the quantum field, selected the potential of this reality, and particles vibrated a specific type of way to then hard and materialize in our 3D. So every single thing that is in your reality right now, God says, I am how you think of me. God says, I will not change the state of a people until they change what's inside them. That is not a punishment. That's God telling you the law. Respect to the law. So then it's like, well, if this current is a reflection of what my inner state has been, does that mean that if I change the inner, that will change the outer? And this is where we come to creating from the quantum field. But this is the part over here. I'm gonna go deeper into some things that most people are a bit confused about. And I was confused about, which is why I never could land on what this actually means. So now, in the quantum field, with God, there are infinite potentials. And what is a potential? A potential means that when consciousness observes this potential, then it will solidify / materialize. So if you're over here and you observe this reality with your heart, with your mind, and you resonate on a coherent frequency, then there become infinite possibilities for how it finds you. The whole game over here is to go about, instead of going like, I need to do something, there's a cause an effort that I need to do, which will give an effect, a result, and feeling. Over here we ask the question, how can I cause the effect? Meaning, how can I, using my energy, draw this reality to me from the unknown? And this is a big part, because for the longest time, when I learned about this, when I thought about this, when I was about this, the biggest thing for me was, I understand I can meditate my way into connecting my frequency, I surrender whenever it finds me, whatever. But there's a big but. My insistence would be on how it happens, what it needs to look like for it to feel good to me. And that's where most people get stuck. Where it's like, yeah, I trust God, but the trust isn't in its full full glory, right? The trust is, I trust God, conditional. I trust God if I can see and predict the way that this thing comes to me. I trust God if it is exactly how I want it. Can I trust God to bring this in my life from an infinite number of ways that I could never predict? What do you mean? Then I got afraid, because what if I don't get it? So our trust in God becomes conditional. Conditional to what? Conditional to how we believe that we should receive this. So a person could then go like, this person says, I want this house. I want a house. Now this house, let's say, is costs $2 million. Now this person says, okay, well, I give this up to a potential in the quantum, I give this up to God. And then they go like, well, okay, then my business needs to generate 2 mil, okay? Then they go like, when the business is, maybe it's high and then maybe it's low, when it dips, then they go like, oh no, no, no. Then the trust dips, because it's like, wait, it's not going how I needed it to go. So then you're actually not creating from the field. You're back to creating from matter, but you're under the illusion that you're doing it with God. But as long as you're trying to force the outcome, control the outcome, get logical with it and everything, you're contracting the heart. You're becoming more body, less energy, more mind, less heart. You're being incoherent. And the whole point of set it and forget it, or let go and let God, by the way, does not mean, like, this is not like me saying that you don't ever take physical action ever again, just sit on bed and like meditate. By the way, anyways, but this is not me saying that. This is me saying you set the intention and you allow God to inspire you on how it's made to manifest. Maybe it's not going to come from your business. Can you be okay with that? Like, if you flinch every time the plan starts to take a U-turn, then you are not relying on God. You're relying on yourself, because you think that you know better. And that's the thing to master. That's the thing to become okay with. To be okay with seeing that vision, knowing the potential, feeling the potential right now, feeling one with that reality, feeling of courseness about that reality, and then just moving along. Then just like, going where you're inspired to go, being how you're inspired to be, and remembering that you move with God. So no detour is can touch you, can harm you, can do anything. It is all part of the plan. But can you trust the plan long enough to not get your hands dirty again and be like, no, I need to control? Can you back off long enough? That's the thing. That instead of using the discipline to train our frequency, our nervous system to receive more, what do we love to exert our hard work into? Is to create from matter, is to create from logic. And every time you do that, bro, it's not gonna feel good. But everything that we want, the reason we want it is because it is making us feel some type of way. Even over here, right? This thing that I want is because of how I would feel when I get it. So this whole process is about, what is the feeling that you're actually after of this house? What does it make you feel? Safe, freedom, safety, freedom, inspired, loved, abundance. Get to know that. Get so clear on what is the feeling this potential is feeding. And then your job is to train your nervous system to have an of courseness with this feeling, and allow it to find you. Because when you're building with God, when you're moving with God, you know what you're doing? You're basically, this is you, and you are becoming a magnet. Okay? You're becoming a magnet for the desire to find you. We forget that you are the prize. That thing is not above you. That thing cannot give you anything. That thing cannot like that. And that's where we trip up as well. Because when you think that this thing defines me, this thing is like, you give it so much importance, you put it on a pedestal, you make it like, you make it a god of your heart. Because then if I don't get this thing, it controls the state of my being. It controls, and I don't mean like, look, it's human to feel. That's one thing. Sometimes like we can feel sad, we can feel angry, we can feel whatever. But if you get stuck in that feeling, if that feeling starts to control you, if every time your business goes high and low, you start to go high and low, every time like this happens, that happens, your state of being is heavily affected by the 3D. Then whatever it is out there has become a god in your life. And you say, I don't worship idols, but you're worshiping false gods. So the purpose of creating with God is to annihilate false gods. To know that God, this is the feeling, this is the thing, and I know you. So I will train myself to feel this way. I will train my perception. I will train my heart over mind. So the whole purpose of this video is for you to understand, for you to embody, for you to recognize that, bro, whatever it is that you desire, God didn't put a desire in your heart to just tease you, okay? God wants to give to you, but you gotta be open enough to receive it. And you gotta trust God more than yourself, more than your mind, more than the intellect, because we go by what we see, what we hear, what we perceive, we go by our senses. And that's why we find it hard to trust God. Because God's plan does not come with an instruction manual. It doesn't come with predictions. And your mind is a predictive machine, which is why every single day you gotta like sit and train yourself. Why? Because the reason why training yourself is important, okay, is because you're fighting against an entire lifetime of survival pattern. So you gotta rewrite. You gotta train yourself to feel a different type of way. Because your body knows very well how to feel lack, how to be connected to lack TV. That's what most people are on, isn't it? Lack channel. Like the thing that you desire, okay? Let's say you're connected to this channel, okay? And over here, 88 is what your desire is. Bro, then everything on 78, the characters, the monkeys, the every single thing that's connected to channel number 78 will be taken away. But can you trust God when that's happening? And when you don't know how 88 will become a reality, can you still continue to trust God that it's happening? It's all a game of living with Godfidence. And that's exactly what my masterclass was about as well. It's 3.5 hours with an activation and another activation you get, a God consciousness rampage. And it's practically free, honestly. I think every single person should watch this. So you can go to the link below, get it, watch it, and like let this sink in. Because this is the formula to living. Living big, living loud, living a legacy coded life. Otherwise, you'll always be trying to change things from effort. It's not meant to be this way, bro. It's meant to be so easy. And with the right tools, it becomes easy. Okay? So do that. If you want my free workshop on how to shift your frequency, all of that, you can go to the link below as well. If you want to build a business with God, if you're trying to do it from matter to matter and you actually want to be in an experience where 8 weeks we build from the quantum. And I mean build, like I don't mean like I'm gonna teach you strategies and stuff. I mean like I will train your nervous system. You will change every single thing you've ever known about business from the core, and you will be a magnet for that business to literally draw in every single thing, the abundance, the whatever it is that you want. Clients, everything comes to you. You are the code. God created you to win. But when we are coded in our bodies in a different type of way, we don't win. Right? We keep chasing and struggling, trying to survive. Especially when it comes to money, man. Especially when it comes to money. It's meant to expand you. It's meant to feel easy. You're meant to live in abundance. So the links are below. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.